Welcome back to Post Productions. Today we're going to be talking about The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin. We don't really need to give it too much of an introduction.
No.
It has its place in history as one of the scariest movies of all time, one of the most infamous horror films. And we watched it the other night.
We did because you've never seen it before. And we're coming into Halloween season, so we thought we'd start this up and we'd have a little Halloween series.
Yeah.
We talk about some old Halloween movies. And we'll go over some of the stuff you haven't seen, because I know you haven't seen a couple of them, but then stuff I haven't seen as well. And we thought the perfect way is to talk about the best Exorcist movie ever made. And it still holds that title 100%. This movie's so good.
It's actually insane.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously it was the kind of the first of its kind to have things so grotesque and disturbing on screen, I feel like, for horror movies. Man, it still holds up though.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason why it's still so effective, it's like, it was the first to really put this stuff to the screen. And all these years later, wow.
It still works.
It still fucking works.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah. And, it's funny, too, because, most movies, or some at least, some get dated, some get old. Especially with horror movies, you find, your Nightmare on Elm Streets, you don't find that scary nowadays. Back in the day, they thought it was terrifying.
Absolutely.
But, now, usually when you have movies like that, they're not seen as scary. This one, I would still debatably say, is scary. I think the way they film it, and I think the practical, and I think just, everything, I think the seriousness, mostly, is just what makes it so goddamn fucking scary.
I totally agree.
It gets me every time. Every single time they show, or even every time when they have Reagan, say something creepy, when she's a demon, it does get under my skin. Because it's just oh my god, that is... I don't like it. It's just creepy, and it does its job well, and that's what I love about it,
Yeah, it feels so realistic.
Yeah.
Everything about it, it just feels so authentic. Really, really sucks you in. And it's you're genuinely worried about this girl, and the mother's going through so much anguish.
Yeah.
And I feel I don't know, it's a very emotional film at the same time.
100%.
You just imagine how fucking terrifying that'd be if that was your kid, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, and like Gav said, the practical effects are crazy.
They're so good.
How the hell did they do the 360 head thing?
Oh, I have no idea.
Insane.
Dude. We need to figure that out, how they did that, because that's honestly one of the most impressive things about this movie. And even the one scene where she's up in the air, she floats seamlessly up into the air. How? I understand it's with wires or something, obviously, but just the fact that it looks so good is still insane to me.
No, seriously.
Oh my lord.
Especially you compare it to a recent Exorcist movies. It's
yeah.
this just set the bar so right off the jump they're okay, we're just gonna put out peak exorcism movie and nothing else.
And everything else is going to be trash.
The exorcism scene in this movie is so effective. It goes on for so long.
Yeah.
It's not corny or cheesy whatsoever. No. And everything leading up to it too feels very based in reality. We were talking about this the other day. I like how they see a psychiatrist, they see doctors, they take a real world approach, not just let's go see this fucking spiritual person,
The first thing they think about is that it's a split personality. They don't even think it's an exorcist, she's possessed at all at the beginning. She's this split personality disorder, and then that takes them halfway through the movie, and then they're there's one other option, but we have never really had this before, and then they start talking about exorcisms. But what I think I love about it, too, is just, even getting to that point, this movie is still amazing. The Exorcist scene, like you said, that's the best scene in the movie by far. But, leading up to it, it's just as investing as that part of the movie when, things actually start to get rolling. Because then you have, the subplot with the priest who's losing his faith. That whole subplot's great. I loved his character, And I think just the way how they betray it, in, like you said, a realistic way, that makes it so much more believable,
Yeah.
And then when it inevitably gets to that scene where he does help with the exorcism, it makes it just 10 times better. And it feels like that arc has just come a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool, too. I was surprised by how the movie started.
Yeah.
I didn't think, I wouldn't say it's, super explicit, exactly how the possession happens. But you kind of can piece things together. It's okay, maybe this caused this, that kind of stuff. But, I don't know, something about that just kind of paints this picture overall. It's we don't really exactly know how this thing came to be, and that makes it even more terrifying.
It does,
because it's like shit. We got all these archaeologists out in the desert.
Well, they show that, and then they show her play with a Ouija board in like one scene.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost implied, like, oh, where did she get? Did she get it from the Ouija board, or is there something else that's going on?
And they got the totems too.
Yeah,
like,
and then you're led to believe it's that too. So like, I like that too. How it's like it's almost left for interpretation, I guess you could say, in a weird way. Like, I guess they're just kind of like, it doesn't really matter how she got possessed. It's the fact that she is possessed. Exactly. And I quite like that, because, most movies, that's never the case. They're just always like, it's the ghost, dude. The ghost is the most important part. But they never even say Pazuzu's name in the movie, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think at least. Maybe they do in the beginning. I don't remember. But they don't say it at all. Like, I had to tell you who it was afterwards. Because, remember that there's one scene in the movie where they flash the demon's face really quick.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. I don't know if I don't know if there's like different versions of this movie, but I swear to god I have seen another version of the movie when Reagan's in the hospital. That same thing happens.
Dude, that was so scary.
Like,
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that scene.
Oh my god.
It came out of nowhere. It's like, wait, what? What was that? What just popped up on screen?
And it was already in kind of like a disturbing, like dream-like sequence as well. So you're kind of caught off guard, and then it's just like freaking this. Oh my god, it was horrifying. And it was so effective because there's no music cue. There's no boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, nothing. It's just really quick on screen. It shows him like open his eyes a little bit, and then it's gone. And that's what makes this movie so scary. Is that it's not a traditional horror film. They really try to make it as serious as possible, and they don't fall for any of really the tropes at all.
Totally.
Or I guess, well, I would debatably say, like, the tropes that maybe you have in this movie, like the head spinning around, floating up in the air, they were inspired by this movie, but this movie did them the best the first time. Like, everything else... It. Oh, they invented it. Yeah, exactly. Every other movie was just like, well, let's do this, but we'll add a bunch of noises, and then it'll make it scary. But no, that's not what makes it scary. It's the fact that there's no music, and you're just taking it all in. That's what makes it scary.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about this movie. That's what I appreciate it so much that they didn't... Well, obviously, just do a bunch of jump scares. I don't think they did jump scares much back in the day. Really. Especially for exorcism movies.
Yeah.
Like, this was a pretty new thing. So, like, I'm just respectful and just all but grateful that that's not in this movie, because it would have made it so fucking old by the end of it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, you can only play a jarring piano key so many times, and it's like, oh, brother.
Dude, I love being jump scared. It's so good. I love it how my ears are bleeding now after that fucking obnoxious ass noise at Annabelle Creation. Oh my god, so epic, dude. Yeah. I love it.
You need like earplugs in the theater, bro.
Literally.
You just know it's gonna be like fucking out of nowhere.
Well, I remember for that one, we watched it in theaters, and this jump scares were so predictable, you could see them coming a mile away. I'd plug my ears with my fingers. Like, I'd literally plug them so I couldn't hear anything, because it was so loud that it wasn't even remotely scary. It just startles you no matter what, because it's like equivalent of a flashbang in your fucking ear. It's like an air horn going, that's what it is. It's so bad.
It doesn't even really scare you. Like,
no.
It startles you, but then it just pisses you off after. It's like,
exactly.
I can't believe I fell for that.
Because then you feel cheated.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fucking dumb.
It's like no genuine tension.
No,
it's just
it didn't lead to anything. It's just, ah! And then you're scared. And it's like, okay, fuck you. Like, that's so stupid.
Absolutely. Like, thank God for this movie's existence.
Oh my god. I don't.
Performances, absolutely crazy. Probably the best child performance ever.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them at least. Like,
Linda Blair.
She is so good in this, man. Insane.
How did she... Well, did she get nominated for something? Like a sporting actor or something? They were there back in the day. But, like, honestly, like, she was honestly one of the best child performers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, she kills it in every goddamn scene. And I know it's, like, not her voice when they're, like, doing the demon. Like, it's obviously someone else. But even just, like, the facial movements, like, her acting and, like, the dub on top of it just makes it, like, 10 times better.
Totally.
And you can totally, like, see it. Like, it's not one of those things like, oh, you can tell that's a different person. No, you tell that, like, that's the same person. They just have a way different voice now. And it's that illusion that works so well with that character. And she's scary, too, man. Like, the one scene, we can't talk about it on YouTube's sake. But when she takes the cross and she starts doing weird shit, that scene is terrifying because it's, like, it's so, like, how am I supposed to put it? And I hate to keep saying it, like, realistic, but it is. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, just... They don't pull punches. They're just like, fuck it, let's do it. Like, we're not holding back.
Like I find with lots of like horror movies from the 70s, when they do something shocking, they're gonna do it in like the most graphic way they possibly can. And even by today's standards, I don't think you could do a scene like that because
of the subject matter too.
Right?
You know, especially for like this time and age. You know.
Totally.
Yeah, but no, they would not get away with it, like at all. Especially since it was a kid actor.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting away with that. And like, you know, I just think for movies like this, it makes it just so much more effective, and it makes you sympathize with the characters 10 times more.
Yeah.
Just because like that's an actual little girl doing that shit, and you sell into it super easily.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like wow.
Dude, what are you thinking for a score on this one?
Oh, dude, easy 9. Like,
yeah.
Come on, this is like a classic movie. I thought about this a lot. I would debatably say 10. The only thing I will say is like, I think it's a little like, but this is like the tiniest of nitpicks. It's a little slow, like the first maybe half hour, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like ever so slightly, not really. The opening is great, but I do feel like for like a new viewer, like it can be slightly like confusing, but just a little bit. Like it's one of those things you watch over rewatch, and it gets better every time.
Yeah,
so like, I can't really even say it's like a negative necessarily, but I would definitely say a 9. But what about you?
Dude, yeah, I'm thinking 9, maybe even 10.
Yeah.
Now I've let it marinate for a while. Like this is just insane.
So good.
It's so good.
So it's peak, dude.
It really is. This
peak.
is peak cinema right here.
This is the reason I was so angry at Exorcist Believer, because it wasn't this movie. This movie's amazing. Exorcist Believer is shit. I hate it. God, it's so bad.
Fucking David Gordon Green. He should be banned from directing.
Never let him direct another remake horror movie ever again. Never. God damn it. Thank God at least we got Mike Flanagan for the next one. Which, like, thank God. I was so uninterested because they were making like 3 of them. Like 3 sequels. Wow. And now they still are, but now Mike Flanagan is directing the second one and maybe the third one. Only saving grace. Dude, this is he knows what he's doing.
It's true. He's a great director. This is going to be like the difference between Annabelle and what was the second Annabelle movie?
Annabelle.
This is technically like a prequel, but...
Oh, was it Creation or Comes Home?
Oh, it's Creation and Comes Home was the
I said Creation by accident then. Creation's actually good.
Yeah.
Comes Home is the awful one that I hate.
So hopefully we get that huge swing in quality again. It's like shit to peak.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, he didn't direct that Annabelle movie, did he?
I thought he did, didn't he?
Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Let me check
this.
Yeah, that wouldn't really shock me, though, because that movie was just so good. Like, I feel like it was on par, I think, with, like, the first Conjuring movie. You know?
It's really freaking good, man.
Like, maybe not the second one. The second one was so good. I still love that movie to this day.
Oh, what the heck? No, it wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
It's David Sandberg.
Oh, shit,
I thought, for some reason I thought it was him.
Oh, I forgot. It's the Shazam guy.
Sorry, bro. That was a bad. That was an L.
I forgot about that. That was okay, dude. Funny Shazam guy. We got to talk about Shazam and the Exorcist review.
God damn it!
You know?
We always end up talking about fucking DC in some regard. Or Shazam or fucking
something stupid, something that has
Flash.
Nothing to do with anything that we're talking about.
Always.
We go from the Exorcist to Shazam. I don't know how this happens in the span of 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Like.
Man, let's just wrap it up.
Let's end it here.
We'll have a DC episode one day.
One day. Maybe when Superman comes out, and hopefully it's good. Let's pray. But anyways, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And we're going to see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.